Welcome back, everyone, to more Avernum 2. It's been a little while since we've done a video, so I figured, as tired as I am today, because I've had a super crazy busy weekend, I still wanted to at least get a video out here just to keep the momentum from getting too stale. We were getting chased by some little asshole slimes or something in the last video, but it looks like I've outpaced them. Now we are here at the test of speed. Who's going to be a good candidate for this? Trog is the one that is behind the most on XP, so maybe we should just send him for that reason alone. You reach the portal, which glows and flickers greedily at your approach. A soft voice says, "Here lies the test of the Vahnatai. One may enter, strangely the voice is speaking your tongue. Here one must be fleet of foot and resist all impulses to linger. Choose wisely, else failure is certain." Alright. Be ready to run. Okay. Let's go ahead and save. We have the tomb here. Guess it's been a while. We'll go ahead and save under the test of speed, aka the terms of service. When you walk between the crystals, you hear an ominous clicking noise. Behind you, a section of the wall drops into the floor, revealing a wall of flame. With a booming noise and a cloud of smoke, the flames pour out, roaring down the passage towards you. Alright. I don't see any flames, but okay. When you step inside this room, you try to close the door behind you. It refuses to budge. The fire continues to chase you. There's a large cavewood wheel here, with a long length of iron chain wrapped around it several times. The chain just goes from the wheel into the hole in the ground. With mighty effort aided by your growing panic, you turn the wheel. With a loud clinking noise, the portcullises to the east slide open. Unfortunately, at the same time, the wall to the west slides into the floor. Okay, now we got some actual flames that seem to be chasing us. Hall of multiple distractions. I'm assuming... You know, I gotta look. Oh, you have failed. Alright, so I guess the distractions are meant to screw us out of being able to pick up anything. Suddenly a nearby wall slides away, revealing yet another wall of searing flame. So this blade shield chain here is actually the... Well, there's some blessed boots down here, which honestly we don't care about. Once again, with the depressing familiarity, a wall slides away, revealing a caldera of quickfire. It's right behind you. When you reach the end of this corridor, a bright green glow appears and envelops you. There's a familiar feeling of vertigo, and you find yourself back at the entry portal. The voice speaks again. You have passed the test. Go now to strive towards your own place among our people. Okay. Can we go back in there and grab the other goodies? No. They said negative Ghost Rider. So what we missed out on was some crystals that we could have sold and some blessed boots. I'm not really interested in any of those, to be quite honest. We already have blessed boots here. And don't really think we need them. They're good on armor, but they do have that negative to hit chance, which we don't really want to add to our fighters. So I'll just take it as a win. And that's all 3 tests completed. Smoked him. Oh, that's right. We can't do it outside, so let's go ahead and hop up and... where is this? Old guy. Okay. This is another town we can visit. I think we'll come back here in just a moment. Our shrine of crystals. And we can't get to this one yet. We'll need the, I guess, the Orb of Thrall need to get there. As you look around, you start to hear a loud chittering noise. The echo makes the sounds come from all sides. You try to leave, but the creatures are much faster. They block the entrance. A bunch of chitraks have built a nest here, and they attack. Whoa. That is a bunch. You're gonna go miss like that. You search the Chidrock next. The creatures have assembled quite a collection of random debris. You find a lot of loose change and semi-precious stones. You collect them. In addition, you find the body of a human who was dragged here recently. There's no insignia or sign of who he was or where he came from, but his armor is intact. Alright. Some steel breasticle plate. That will be an upgrade from the iron breastplate. Alright, Trog is very close to leveling, and Ronstock's getting close to 14. So what we'll try to do, I guess, with our wisdom crystals is get the guys that are behind caught up as much as we can. Of course, we're going to need some wisdom crystals for that. But that's okay. We like levels. We'll take them. This is the area map here. We have not checked this out yet. Vahnatai Council. The door opens to a long, windy passage. You walk down it and find that it's in a chamber filled with what looks like large, upright crystal coffins. Just under the surface, you can barely make out the forms of dozens of Vahnatai. It's very spooky, but not very useful. You look around for a little bit, find nothing of value, and leave. So we have these slumbering Vahnatai all around us here. And I'm assuming this is more. Same deal. And another room of coffins. Alright, let's check out old guy. We'll do our quick perimeter check here. And we get cut off. On the pedestal, you see a huge crystal. Under its surface, you see strange images and symbols shifting about, rapidly floating in and out of visibility. Different words and images flit about inside the crystal. When you focus on some of them, others disappear. You see a few which look like magical formulas. You try to concentrate on them, but they spin away. Instead, you see something else. You see images of dark rivers, winding tunnels, and dark ruins. However, you can't control the image. It moves about randomly, jumping from place to place, giving you a headache. You recognize the locations, though. They were places you visited during your dark, watery journey here. The Vahnatai must have watched every step of your travels using this crystal. Eventually, you pull yourself away. In this one, you see images of caves, Vahnatai towns, and actual Vahnatai. You're looking at them from afar above. However, you can't control the image. It moves about randomly, jumping from place to place and giving you a headache. When you pull away, head spinning, one image stays with you strongly. You saw a castle perched at the edge of a chasm. Outside it, Vahnatai were practicing fighting using human weapons. There's a door that is too complicated to pick. So it requires a certain key. As you root around in the trash pit, several large green piles of refuse start to shift around. Bits of fill slide off them, revealing several snuffling hellhounds. They decided that you're invading their territory. Invade this, bitches! It doesn't look like anything to search. I'm going to hold off on doing any leveling for now. Even though these guys are 13. Well, what are they? Behind by 1. I don't remember what I did with... Let's see. Strength, endurance. 16 and 9. So I went endurance. And then I probably did weapons and hardiness, right? No. We did weapons and blade master. Alright, well that's easy enough. Clot, we can figure Clot out. We still want to go priest with her. Now we should be able to do the... whatever that spell is called, the spiritual spell, to be able to take care of that dark altar. Probably a good idea to start pumping up some resistances as well. But why not max out spellcraft and get those spells as effective as possible? Taking a very offensive build this game as compared to the first one. Okay, that brings us all to at least level 13 even. Although Ronstock's about to triumph into level 14. But yeah, can now cast the Sanctification Ritual, so we can go back and do, well, when we have a chance to go back, that's back in the human world, we can take care of that Dark Altar quest. Right here in the ruined west of Formello. For now, we are at the mercy of the Vahnatai lands. We need tool use to be higher. Aren't we at? Let's see. We got nimble fingers, so we got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That should be 13, 14. How does that not work? This plus 2. Let's see if the Tinker Gloves help. Maybe it's requiring a natural 13. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Oh, this is from the nimble fingers. So 2, 4. Well, he's 3. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so we're at 12. So I need one more without the gloves. Or with the gloves. Could have stuck Clot with that. Let's see, when did we save here? The auto save. Oh well. We'll come back, no biggie. Probably just some BS up in there. An unusually bulky Vahnatai sits alone in this quiet, dusty hall. He reclines at a table and watches you approach. "I am Ni," he mutters. He's truly fascinated by you. He stares at your body with an unnerving intensity. "Why are you staring at me?" "I'm interested in outsiders, like us, not like us." He speaks quietly. He's clearly nervous about something. "Why are you interested in me?" He leans close to you. "You're humans. There are lots of interesting sorts of humans. I love hearing about different tribes of humans. What tribes they are from." He watches you carefully, seemingly waiting for something. "We are from Avernum." He backs away. "Oh, then I suppose that this is interesting." He turns away. Okay. Let's have Ronstock talk. "We're from the Empire on the surface." "Good." He starts to speak very quietly. He looks very nervous. "I thought you would never get here. I left a key for you in Avet. It's in an old twisted tree behind the barracks." He looks around. "Now go. I'll be suspected if I'm seen talking to too much humans." "Why are you doing something wrong talking to me?" "I have said what I need to say. Now go." He turns away. "No, go. I told you of the key. Old tree in Abbott, behind barracks." Alright. We'll have to go see if we found that old key. I don't recall. But now we have that information. We can go search. To the south is the largest intact Vahnatai building you've seen. It is tall, beautiful dome formed of delicate blue-veined stone. You can recognize the words carved above the large open gate, Council Hall. This woman stands upright on a small carpet, humming in a low monotone, contemplating the bow on the carpet before her. She occasionally reaches out and touches the crystal before her, and then she continues her reverie. When you get close, she stops humming and opens her eyes to look at you. "Ah, you. I am Corman. I am a ponder. We can trade." "Can you explain to me what a ponder is?" "I am a ponder. I contemplate, and I have been asked to, in this case, the different strange items you humans use. We have much to learn, and I am pausing my other work to help learn it." "What's your normal work?" "Shaping and treating crystals. It is valued work, but now we need knowledge more than stones." "What do you think of human tools?" "Few of my kind admit it, but the humans and sliths and such show great ingenuity. We have much to learn." And she has everything from rolling pins to fishing poles to bags of sugars to fine steel gauntlets. It's an interesting menagerie of items. We can, of course, also sell. Might as well. What the hell? Almost brings us up to 16,000 coins. Don't want to get too much money, of course, because there's probably a cap in this like there was in the first game. Vahnatai. The male sitting at the end of this table has 3 wave blades and a dozen razor discs spread out before him. He's polishing and sharpening one after another. When he gets to the end of the row, he starts over again. I am Vahnatai. His voice is grim. He's not happy to be talking with you. Excuse me, may I speak with you? I am the God Master of Ogai, and I don't have time to deal with outsiders, guest or not. Why don't you find one of us who's interested in you? What do you think of us humans? I don't trust humans. I don't want to speak to you. Some of us do trust you. Go bother them. Who trusts us then, if not you? He snorts. Fools like me. He's been wandering around saying how interesting humans are. He said something about their empire once. Go ask him about it. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you. He goes back to sharpening his blades, ignoring you. Apparently, he's not going to barter with us. A savagely scarred Vahnatai fighter slumps back on a stool. He's clearly in agony. He moans very softly. Give me. Weak. Must sit. What did this to you? He looks up to you. Chitrock. He mumbles. Lots of them. But we beat them. We won. I'm glad you won. He mumbles incoherently. He must have been given some sort of very powerful pain-killing herb. You leave him at peace. Maybe he won't be awake to watch me steal. Reditas. A Vahnatai woman sits at a long table covered with all manner of mushrooms and herbs. She's busily sealing sticky lumps of savory fungus in stone jars. I am Reditas. Welcome to my shop. What are you preparing? She holds up 2 stone jars. I have fine preserved mushrooms for you to buy if you're interested. How do you use stone jars? The best way to preserve the food that I found. I cannot always get the supplies I need, so I use what I can. How long will they stay edible? A minimum of 3 centuries is expected. We Vahnatai make caches to last for a long time. That is why my kitchen has so much equipment. Alright, just straight up regular mushrooms, nothing interesting there. How are your mushrooms? Only the best. Large, soft, well treated, and very energizing. And few harmful hallucinations. I think we're good. Then return when you want to trip balls. The conversation ends. Stupid Vahnatai can see us. It's Spira. A withered old Vahnatai sits cross-legged in front of a brazier. He holds a wave blade in his long spider-like fingers and runs a stone along its edge with almost microscopic detail. He speaks without turning to look at you. Hello, aliens. I am Spira, Master Bladesmith. How do you make those wave blades? I spent weeks on each blade, demanding only perfection from each one. No less will do. Bone Earno has spoken with me and convinced me to let you buy some of my goods, so humans can see the glory of Vahnatai crafts. Would you normally be reluctant to sell to me? My goods are crafted and molded by hand, formed with the metal, heat, and magic, and then buffed and worked to perfection. It takes days, pride, and patience. You should appreciate the honor it is to use my weapons. Normally it would disgust me to know my work is in the hands of aliens, but an Arno requested it as a favor, so there you are. Perfection sounds demanding. The other day I threw a buckler better than any you carry into the trash heap south of the city. It had a minor flaw. Better chitrax lay eggs in my body than I let one of my fellows trust his or her life to flawed goods. This is the pride we bladesmiths take in our work. Always have and always will. That's all the questions we have for now. Off to dig in the trash heap south of the city. What do you think of my weapon? He snorts, beneath my notice. You shouldn't mock. Avernites can do mighty things. You can do mighty things with a rock if you throw it hard enough. I am not impressed. He holds up a sword he's working on. This is a true weapon. You have to admit it is impressive. So he sells wave blades and razor disc. I'm not impressed. Where's this trash can south of the city? I think he's lying. Ain't no trash can out here. An exceptionally tall Vahnatai female practices blade work here. Her wave blade traces frighteningly intricate paths through the air. She stops her practicing and walks up to you. She turns when you approach. I am Vahnatai, teacher of Vahnatai. That is some impressive blade work. Yes, I know. I was told to offer you humans training if you need it. First, you need to prove yourselves. You have not. Leave me. Okay. We have to prove ourselves to her somehow. When you try to enter the council chamber, one guard stops you and another nervously enters to announce your presence. You hear several minutes of animated argument escalating to loud shouting, then it dies down abruptly. The guard returns, looking deeply unsettled. They say you can enter, he says, barely believing his own words. You enter the council chamber of the Vahnatai people, the first humans ever to do so. Before you is a huge stone table at which sit 3 Vahnatai lords, old and wrinkled. There are 2 males and 1 female. They beckon for you to approach, and you do so. The woman says, Welcome, humans. Despite my 2 friends' objections, I and our honor have demanded you be allowed to enter. I am Prosis Bok. Welcome. She indicates the younger of the 2 men. This is Glanchus Bok. He nods, scowling. She begins to introduce the other man, but he cuts her off. Glanchus Bok says, I can speak as well as you, Prosis. I am Glanchus Bok, alien. Prosis wants you here to determine if all the persons of Upper Caves are pallid, worthless, honorless thieves and vermin or not. Bon Iro brought you here for that reason, and here you are. Yes, we have brought you here to scry you. We will look inside your paltry spirit to try and understand you and estimate your worthiness. It is not harmful, but it will let us know some measure of your spirit. Prosis nods. Time is short, violence is everywhere, and the need to know is great. Will you permit us to look inside you? She looks at you hopefully. We agree. You may inspect us. The moment you mutter assent, the council members close their eyes. Suddenly, racking pain lances through your minds. You drop to your knees. It may not be harmful, but it sure as hell hurts. You start remembering your lives, your arrivals in Avernum, your struggles to survive, your training, your triumphs and failures, and most vividly, your fights against the Empire. The memories are more intact than you had expected. The dredging up of your life story continues. For how long you cannot tell. Fortunately, the council has some idea of what you consider private. It only touches the high and public points, leaving the shadowy recesses of your minds alone. Then the pain becomes too much and you black out. You awaken to find the Vahnatai kneeling by you, bowls of water in their hands. Pillows have been placed under your heads. You stand shakily and see the council. The face of Process is lit up in triumph and relief. The two men look profoundly worried and disturbed. Then Process speaks. It is clear that you humans are more complicated than we estimated, and that we must begin efforts to find the actual perpetrators of the crime against us. This empire seems a hostile force we should look carefully at. For now it is decided that the barriers in your caverns will be dissolved. We know better what is happening now. Their purpose has been served. This is an incredible relief. Now you may return to your lands. She points to the door in the eastern corridor. We created a portal between our lands and yours, in expectation of war. Perhaps it may be used for other purposes, one can only hope. The portal is permanent. You'll be able to return through it. This is important, for we have an offer to make you. We ask you to recover our crystal souls and return them to the shrine to the southwest, their home. If you can recover all three of them, and if you of Avernum were not the thieves, we will lend our support to you in your war against the Empire. Our numbers are small, but our power is great. Elohai Bach stands to speak. We are very disturbed by the book you found in the Vahnatais' possession, a book of clearly human origin. It is possible that a band of Vahnatai are dealing secretly with humans. It would be truly horrible. If you find evidence of this, bring it to us immediately. Bach speaks. We still do not trust you, but it is clear more is happening than we understand. We do not know why Vahnatai attacked you at the River Fort ruins. We know nothing of their actions. They were not of us, and their presence was very disturbing. Be careful. The Vahnatai people may be no more united of purpose than the humans. Elohai chimes in. And you should find evidence of the locations of one of the crystal souls. Bring it to us with all speed. We may be able to give you the aid in recovering it. Finally, Process speaks. Remember, we will stop at nothing to rescue the spirits of our ancestors, and if you help us, our rewards will be great. Thank you for the risk you took in coming here. But she says sadly, sitting, the worst is ahead for all of us. I am sure of it. Glantress and Eloi nod at this, and then they say no more. So we destroyed the mysterious barriers. We completed the Vahnatai Council, and the new quest is recovering the 3 crystal souls. The Vahnatai Council and Olgai promised to do great things for Avernum if you could recover the 3 crystal souls that were stolen from them. The souls should be taken to the Shrine of Crystals, which is southwest of Olgai. That is, we just visited there earlier. To learn more about where the souls may have been taken, speak with the Council in Olgai. That's our portal back. That is difficulty 12, Treasure Chamber. Process Bach, Elohai Bach, and Galantis Bach. You meet a tall, stately Vahnatai woman wearing the thin gold torque all the Bachs wear. She's the only member of the council who stood up for you, but she is cautious when you approach. You still have much to prove. I am Process Bach, friend to the Vahnatai people. I will be friend to you, if you prove yourself worthy of our trust. We should not have attacked Avernum so quickly. Why do you think the lost crystal souls might be hidden? I don't know. It's important to admit when one is ignorant. Speak with the others on the council and give me time. I will try to learn more. What do you do for the Vahnatai? I contemplate the direction our people will take in this time of turmoil. I look for the direction we may travel to find peace. Then I make my recommendations to the council. Often we disagree. What ideas have you come up with? I contemplate our direction to take in the future, whom to attack, how and when, and whether the group we are attacking is the right one. Alas, our targets aren't always the correct ones, as you now know. Why are you seeking peace? Living in these caves is a hard thing in the best of times. War makes it nearly impossible. Why did you attack Avernum so quickly without even trying to contact us? That was unfortunate. Glantress and Eloi fear and dislike humans, although they can still be rational when faced with facts. Rentar Irno is much the same way and is much more powerful. Exactly how powerful is Rentar Irno? She is the greatest of our mages. She created the barriers in your lands, and she constantly looks for ways to defend our people and assault our enemies. She's difficult to control at times, but she is truly our greatest strength. It seems like everyone we have met knew about our journey to your lands. That's because we've watched everything. We saw every step of your journey, using our magic viewing crystals. We judged you by the courage you showed during the perilous trip. Could I use the viewing crystal? At this point, it would not be for the best. When all 3 crystal souls are returned, perhaps. A tired Vahnatai, perhaps middle-aged, stares at you with huge, pale eyes. I am a Lotai Bok, servant to the Vahnatai people. He wears a delicate golden torque. Although I was silent during your interrogation, and he is mostly quiet now, he watches your movements, silently fascinated by your alien form. Where do you think we should look for the crystal souls? I spend every spare moment trying to answer that question. As yet I have learned nothing. Speak with the others on the council. They may know more. What are you working on? He holds up a thick sheaf of papers covered with calculations, notes, and thick blocks of cramped handwriting. It's fallen to me, I'm afraid, to ponder the future. And what do you predict will happen in the future? Beyond the walls, the caves now are very different from what they were when we began our last resting. There are humans now, and Nephilim, and Nepharim, and the Sliths, and other races you told us of. And only we can hibernate. One day I fear we will fall to squabbling. How often do the Vahnatai hibernate? Every few centuries, to give the caves a chance to regenerate. Life down here is hard, as you no doubt have found. The resources we require to live are limited. Squabbling over caves? Yes. We are only one of many tribes, and there is only so much space in our caves. The future may be ugly. The question is whether you may one day be happier on your surface. Many Avernites would be happier on the surface. That is where you belong. I suspect we will need to fight the Empire one day. When we do, the battle may continue to the surface. Perhaps you'll then be able to return there. He looks down at his notes and back up at you. I cannot be sure, but in the long run, this may be the only way for us all to have peace. Did you want me to be brought to the Vahnatai lands? I feel that it was a foolish act. It revealed us to the humans and brought us no gain in return. Were you to recover a crystal soul, I might change my opinion, but I have little faith in you. This stern-aged leader of the Vahnatai sits at the end of the table, lost in thought. He still doesn't trust you, but he is at least willing to tolerate your presence. I am Glantris of Bok, the Vahnatai people and their sworn protector. Do you have any advice on how to find the crystal souls? I think I do. We've been watching you Avernites, you call yourselves. We here speak often of a female of the human species, a powerful one named Erica. If she is skilled in magic, she may be able to help you track the souls down. We will speak with Erica. Yes, her lands are remote, but there is one who speaks with her. We know of him from our snooping. That's the word? The wizard named Solberg. He is near your Formello city. What are you thinking about? I'm contemplating the reasons why some of you humans have decided to dishonor us. We do not wish to dishonor the Vahnatai. Perhaps I will not accuse you, but some humans are lowly creatures indeed. You have to understand the importance of the crystal souls to us. They are living history, wisdom, and conscience of our people. They are living beings, the most valued of us all. What do you think the reasons might be? My theory is this. Many of the Boks have had magical powers, and these powers were retained by their crystal forms. The thieves may have felt our ancestors to be a little more more than precious magical items. He seems repulsed by the notion. You humans greatly value your magical items. I shudder to think the spirits of my predecessors could be considered mere stones and trinkets. What sorts of magical powers do the crystals have? They could use all the spells that they could cast in life and many more. The thieves must have been powerful to avoid being slain by the crystal souls outright. What do you think of Avernum? When all 3 of the crystal souls have been returned, it would be best for you to ask that question. Until then, I will be unable to regard you surface invaders with anything but honest loathing. Alright, so a couple new quests. Traveling to Erica and asking Erica about the souls. Still got to prove ourselves before Vahnatai will talk to us. Vanity? That's what I'm going to call her, Vanity. Alright, so we explored much of Old Guy. Let's check this portal out and see exactly where it spits us out. You immediately recognize what this is. It's a magical portal. It's very small, but very intense. It hurts your eyes to look at such powerful concentration of magic. It looks strong enough to carry you a very long way. You step into the portal and immediately feel like you're being torn apart. Waves of energy pick you apart, dismantling and relocating every bit of your being. Then when you think you can't stand it anymore, you return to reality. You find yourself in a human building with human furniture, facing several very startled humans. Some are wizards and some are guards. Fortunately, quick talk keeps them from butchering you. You are bundled off for questioning. Soldiers of Avernum grill you about who you are, where you came from, and what you're doing there. They don't believe a word of what you say until they cast truth spells. Several hours of questioning you leaves them stunned, to say the least. You're given a meal and a bed for the night. The next day you're asked more about the Vahnatai, about their homes and their weapons, and especially about the crystal souls. After a time, they tell you that you are in the Tower of Magi. Eventually, they finish speaking with you. You are taken to your room and told to stay out of the way while they figure out what to do about the Vahnatai. You're finally home, it would seem, however, that Avernum's troubles are only the beginning. The danger will remain as long as the crystal souls have not been returned. When you want to return to the Vahnatai lands, the portal back to Olgai is in the southeast corner of the Tower of Magi. Well, I guess we can always return, so let's just keep things moving. Now that you've rested and recovered from your ordeal, you begin to step out and explore the Tower of Magi. Someone's left a note on the door for you. It reads, "Please come and see me in my chambers as soon as possible." There on the second tier, Madavi. So obviously we're going to have a lot more of exploring and talking and reading to do here. It's Kayanan. You meet a young, heavily built woman in mage's robes. She carries around a cavewood staff with iron caps. From the way she holds it, you guess that it's more to hit people than for physical support. She introduces herself. "I am Kayanan. I am an instructor of the Tower of Magi." "Nice staff. Do you work in the tower?" "Thanks. I never go anywhere without it, but I'm a teacher here. I should be at the front, but there you go." "What are you teaching?" "I drill the youngsters in spells as fast as I can, so they can go fight. I also teach magery to those with the money that can buy the knowledge." "Can you teach us any spells?" "Why, of course. I'm a bad bitch." Well, we got the money. Let's get some acid and some lightning. I don't really care about cloak of bolts. Blink, not super interested in that either. Cloak of blades, however. That's worth it. How does one become a full-time student here? One must show magical aptitude at an early age, and of course, survive the manifestations of that aptitude. Very similar to the Empire, and yet very different. How is it different? The surface only allows one to learn magic after a long period of proving loyalty to the Empire. Learning magic in secret results in banishment to Avernum. That's how I came to be here. This is the Tower of Magi Library, the second largest library in Avernum. The largest is in Patrick's Tower to the west. Books are rare in Avernum. This collection is an amazing accomplishment. Alas, the tomes are probably too esoteric to benefit you.
Esoteric, huh?
It means secret, stupid. When you touch the book, bound in green leather on the platform, your hand gets a painful shock and you jump back. A young mage in the robes of an apprentice looks at you with interest. You ask his name. He traces out the word Elrad with his finger on the wall. He's an apprentice, so he cannot speak.
What's your job?
He points at his robes.
Oh, I see. You can't talk, right?
He shrugs resignedly. Then he smiles, bows, and walks away. Apprentice. Curious to see how similar this looks to the Tower of the Magi in the first game. Not that I remember any great details. This is one of the Spartan sleeping chambers for the students of the tower. A pallet and a box for their meager possessions are all they have. It's an aesthetic life. It's a life of a simple man. And here we are trying to rob them. It's Nathan. You meet a mage's apprentice. He rises to greet you. Welcome, I am Nathan. He's allowed to speak. He must be an advanced apprentice. Come in, sit down. We can talk about the goings-on in the world. It's very nice to have someone to talk to. It is. It really, really is.
Okay. So what do you do here?
I'm an apprentice here, close to graduation. I can speak and spend my time teaching. It's nice being able to talk. I miss talking so much. But I can do it now. It's wonderful. I'm trying to get it out of my system before I go work on research.
What are you researching?
I was going to go fight, but they decided it would be better if I helped develop new powerful spells and things instead. It's fascinating work. There's a lot I can tell you about it. I probably won't. Not now anyways, but it's very interesting. I like to work on the portal. That would be the most interesting and useful thing.
Can you tell me anything about the portal?
The portal, yes. They made a big portal and it's in the tower now. And if you know the right incantation, it can send you everywhere and anywhere in Avernum. We're all talking about it. Well, all of us that are allowed to speak. He suddenly stops, looking nervous. Oh, I think I wasn't supposed to talk about the portal. Don't tell anyone, okay? I better go. Sorry, bye.
The guy's a wiener.
These books are simple instructional text, explaining basic magical concepts. They're far too below your level to help you. Sorry, Ronstock. But hey, at least we got some new spells like Cloak of Blades. And good old Lightning Spray. We don't need to cast that. Just kidding. Got good old Acid Spray, so now we're able to do other kinds of damage to undead, which is a big deal. Go ahead and throw that up. Throw up some Ward of Thoughts. This blesses and cures our group. It's a good little spell. Tower of the Magi. You step out of the Tower of the Magi and into the familiar air of Avernum. This land is your prison. It's a terrible place to live in many ways, and yet it is a relief to return to it. Now that you are at last back on familiar ground, the enormity of the task facing you overwhelms you. It seems that the fate of Avernum is in your hands. The question is whether you're up to the task. There's only one way to find out. Onward. Part 4, the war. The Vahnatai were clear. If you can recover their stolen crystal souls, Avernum will have a new powerful ally in the war against the Empire. However, the underworld is enormous. You have no idea where to begin the search. You'll have to look for signs of the Vahnatai activity or magic. This might lead you to where the souls lie. In the meantime, you can also look for ways to fight the Empire. They are still here, and their leaders are still strong. Who knows what tricks they are planning to defeat Avernum. You've endured much and traveled far. Yet sadly, your journey is just beginning. And thus here starts I believe, the final chapter of the game, but also probably the next 50 hours of the game. The last 50 hours of the game, or however much longer we have. But yeah, chapters 1 through 3 are just kind of a prelude to the actual base game here. Think of them as kind of an extended introduction. Thought you were sneaky. Hey! It's Mr. X. It's a highly deranged and disconnected man sitting at this desk. Fortunately, he doesn't seem to be very dangerous. At the moment. He's clearly a wizard of the tower, and his robes are rich, deep purple. You ask him his name, and he says X. His voice is soft and distracted.
Excuse me, what are you researching?
He looks around as if looking for spies, then he turns to you. I'm looking for a spell that will drop an anvil on someone far away. I'd have it by now if the Triad didn't keep pulling me away.
What's the Triad?
There are 3 of us who run the tower, and we try to do it as little as possible. Now go away.
Dropping anvils on people sounds useful.
I'm still working on it. I may be able to get it someday. Very useful for hurting the Empire and people I don't like. He gets angry. But I keep getting distracted. I keep having to teach people. It's frustrating.
What spells can you teach?
He looks at you angrily. People want to buy spells all the time. I teach them for the good of Avernum, but damn! It gets to where I have to hide back here to get any work done. You don't want to purchase spells, do you? He has a neurotic gleam in his eye. If you don't mind too much, I would like to learn a few spells. X starts to respond, but then something occurs to him. You have magic clearance, don't you? Some bureaucratic nonsense. You say that you don't? Oh, you should go to the castle and get that. I don't care, of course, but if I help you without it, people will come and annoy me.
Do you fight for Avernum?
No, but I teach those who do. It's convenient to do so. You keep enemies far from me.
Enemies?
Garzad and the other pitiful, jealous subservience of mages of the Empire.
What will you do if enemies reach you? I don't know.
Probably disappear and never be seen again. Alright, we need clearance from the castle to get teachings from Mr. Mage X. And here is the portal back to Olgai, so that we can kind of continue exploring this land until we feel satisfied that we've done all we can on this end. But of course now we have to recast our spells. And this would be a good place to wrap up, folks. We are now in the thick of it with Chapter 4. We'll see you soon with more Avernum 2. Thanks for watching.